Hello, everybody, and welcome to HCM 300. My name is Brad Daniel, and I am going to serve as your instructor for this course. I am a fellow in the American College of Healthcare Executives, have a UVA undergrad, and went to MCV, graduated MCV MHA program in 1996. So I've been working for 20 years. I actually worked for 4 or 5 years before that in healthcare, various roles, and we can certainly talk about that later. But this is HCM 300, Overview of the Healthcare System. This is the class that really got me kind of lit the fire for me in the whole healthcare arena. And this is a class, no matter who you are, no matter what you do within the healthcare system, it's intended to give you a broad overview of the healthcare system. We're going to talk about things like how health insurance evolved, how hospitals evolved. We're going to go all the way up to managed care. We're going to talk about special needs and populations and access issues. A lot of these things are very current. So I like to think about this class like, every single one of you, by getting this degree, your friends and neighbors, family at the picnic, they're going to ask you what you think about the healthcare system. And you really need to know what's in this class because it's going to help you have an informed opinion on what we would call macroeconomic issues within healthcare. It's not econ class, I'm just using that term. It's really kind of a social policy, history, a little bit of everything, and that's what's really cool about healthcare. It's kind of an interdisciplinary, not just interdisciplinary in the medical treatment disciplines, but in the way that we approach and deliver healthcare in this country. We are unique in the world, as you well know, and we'll talk about. We have some of the most expensive, some of the best healthcare, but we also have some of the just unbelievable disparities in access, which is terrible. And people around the rest of the world don't understand why we have issues with getting people immunizations or getting people basic primary care, because in so many other developed countries, everybody gets these things. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to your friend, the book. You want the purple book, okay? 4th edition, U.S. Healthcare System, okay? Don't buy the 3rd edition. Actually, to be honest with you, you buy the 3rd edition and you find it on Amazon or something, you probably could limp along. They just updated this book. They put a lot of new stuff on here about, just basically updates on Affordable Care Act and some other things. The test is based on this book. However, the overall historical policy hasn't changed that much. So the good news is we got a brand new book. Bad news for you is it might be a little more expensive, and I'll be re-recording all the lectures. So it's going to probably be week to week. I'll be putting in new lectures for each of you, for all of you on a weekly basis, and I'll just be recording over PowerPoint. Let's talk about that for a minute. I'm going to talk super fast, like I'm talking right now on those PowerPoints, because I expect you to read the book and to at least use whatever method works for you. You guys are all working adults. If you're like me, sometimes you skim the book and then go back and read the things you really didn't get. That's fine. Remember, the tests are based mostly on the book. I don't have a lot to do with the tests. I will have a lot to do with the paper. I'll be reviewing the paper, but and of course the tests. But the tests are kind of automated. The point is, these PowerPoint lectures might be 15 minutes. That's what you're paying for. I mean, I have actual healthcare experience in all these things. I've worked for a managed care company. I've worked for a hospital. I've worked for a consulting company. I have my own consulting company. So there's nothing in this book that I haven't done. And I don't say that to be, bold or anything, but that's what you're paying for. I'm going to give you some color in the lectures. I am not going to teach you word for word what's in the book. I assume that you're smart enough and intelligent enough to do that on your own. I'll try to keep those things moving very quickly, but I do suggest you review them. Is it possible you could just get on the test, read the book, take the test without ever watching one of these lectures? Probably. You might be able to get a C or a B, but if you really want to understand this, you guys are paying for this course. Don't short yourself out. I'm going to try to make things as efficient as possible. We're all working or pursuing other things. So let's talk about the paper. Real quick on the paper, I'm going to ask you to submit your topic in advance. That's built into the syllabus. It's not that I'm a control freak. It's that if I have to read 15 papers about the exact same topic, it doesn't matter if you have the best one and you're number 14, 15. It gets hard for everybody to stay engaged. I want you to go through the book right now when you pick it up. and look at the chapters. Look at the chapters on the syllabus. Your paper should derive from one of those topics. Now, that's pretty broad because these topics cover almost the entire healthcare system. But don't pull in a paper from your physical therapy class that has absolutely nothing to do with health policy, because I will be able, the plagiarism thing will check that. I will be able to check that. Okay, I've been teaching for a while. I want you to relate. Now, it could be a paper about physical therapy, but it better be about policy and evolution and something that ties in with a topic we've talked about in this class. There's no way you can start writing the paper right now because you really don't have an idea about what's important for me, important to me. But you can start thinking about it. So start looking at the topics, start chewing on that a little bit, because in a few weeks, very soon here, I'm going to ask you to submit the topic to me in advance. Okay, and we can chat about it. That doesn't mean if you submit the topic and change your mind that I'm a pretty flexible guy. But again, I want to make sure that we are, working together to make sure we're both challenging ourselves. Okay, so you got the paper. The discussions are pretty self-explanatory. We have a midterm and a final. If you have any questions for me, I'll be checking email about once a day. I hate to say it, sometimes it might be once every 2 days, but just be patient, and please don't email me the night something is due and tell me you couldn't get it started, especially the paper. You would be amazed how people do this to me. I couldn't start the paper tonight because I had to work at the last minute. Well, why were you starting the paper 3 hours before it was due? Okay, that's just... I'm an adult. I'm going to treat you like an adult if you treat the work like an adult. So, give yourself the time you need. And I am a reasonable person, but I don't have time for all the last minute. I don't care about the doctor. We're not in high school anymore. I don't need to know from your doctor. I want to know, get the work done. Okay? So if you have questions, that's not to say don't contact me. Extenuating circumstances, sure. You weren't ready? No. But that's it. But I'm excited about this. Again, this is one of the very most interesting. This should read to you, hopefully should read very easily, because it's fascinating. The author does a good job. These authors have experience in healthcare, and they do a really good job. One thing I will tell you, I'll kind of help you be your guide too. There's a lot of exhibits in here, but they're not too exhibit happy. Most of everything in here is fair game for the midterm and final. But I think the midterm final is going to be less about trying to trick you on whether it's 5% or 10%. More about, do you grasp the overall concepts of the course. So good luck to everybody. I hope you enjoy the class, and please don't hesitate to contact me via email first, and that other number is my mobile phone number, so I don't mind if you call me, but I ask that you give me some respect on normal working hours or evenings, and always try the email first. There are a lot of times when I can pick up an email and I can't pick up the phone, so but I'll get back to you either way, and good luck.